Yo, what's up, guys, and welcome to this week's episode of the Soundproof podcast. As always, I'm Tom Wilson. We've got Jonth here.
What's good?
And this week's guest, we're super lucky to have RudeLies on, better known by his real name, Chris Stapps. Better known as RudeLies, but we call him Chris Stapps. So, what's up, Chris?
Yo, what's up, Tom? No, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, doing well, man. Again, we're recording this on Friday night, which is awesome. Heading into the weekend, so
yeah.
I'm ready for the weekend. It's been a busy week because stuff's opening up more in the UK now. So I was able to actually go into uni and do some work this week.
Oh, you were? What?
I was. I know it makes sense, but it was pretty good. What have you been up to?
Well, I've just been working on music. Like I have, because of Swedish recommendations, I have to stay at my house for 1 week because I just came back from Latvia and, back into the favorite studio of mine making music. I just finished a new tune that's going to be out in April, and yeah, just been non-stop work for me, and of course this podcast with you guys tonight. So
you're you're quarantining at the moment then?
Well, half and half. I mean, I was still going out in public, but since those are recommendations, nobody's like coming after me with police, so like they would in Latvia.
What have you been up to then, Jesper? Like busy week or just standard life?
Honestly, this week I've been chilling, just looking at stats and shit. Like
just opening your Spotify for artists every 10 minutes.
Literally that, man.
Just riding the wave of famous.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Like honestly, it's sitting on 10K daily, just almost completely organically as well. Like it's in like 7,000 different like personal or like private playlists. It's insane. Like I don't know. I'm just baffled by these numbers.
That's crazy.
You sent me an Instagram story the other day as well and my face is being promoted on the like NCS stories thing, like on the releases, and I didn't really know they were doing this until Jasper sent it to me.
It's so cool.
Oh yeah, I was wondering where did that come from? Where is Tom now the famous one now for the NCS artists?
Woo! I'm on their cover as so that's pretty cool.
You released recently as well, didn't you, Chris?
Oh yeah, I just did my first release of Loud Cult at the same day as Tom. So yeah, that was quite cool.
That was Crown, wasn't it? Who was that with again?
It was with Rezarin and Jarno. Jarno did the vocals for Milk and Honey by Lucky Luke and Tom Budin, which was where I found him actually. And then we just made
slap house vibes from this release, Chris. some slappy vibes.
Yeah.
But I'll give you credit. You did it well. You didn't go full slap house.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
So like with that tune and like a couple of other tunes that you've been releasing lately, you're kind of moving towards more of a commercial sound, right? With the RudeLies, or are you like gonna try and do both, or what plans do you have for?
Well, it's a funny thing you asked. So the answer is actually yes and no. So next week, as per fact, I'm going to be releasing something totally different. Something that's been super weighted and it's not commercial at all. But, I'm at the same time, I'm preparing some very commercial tracks. But at the end of the day, what's important for me is that, I love each and every track and I feel like I'm bringing something special to the table, not just doing the same kind of slap house cover thing. And if I would do a cover, like I would try to bring something special to the table, like the one I did last year, which was called Something You Said with Volstead. Like I really like the 80s pop vibe and I wanted to, put it into like a future house setting. And of course, we also did a VIP mix, which was harder. So like with covers and everything you do, and if you want to go commercial, I think like you need like a special kind of thing to add. I
really liked that one you did with Woolstead. I like the original of that so much. Like I was listening to that out when I was running over the summer. It was generally a really sick song.
That song, like, it's good vibes like all around. It really makes me happy to listen to that song. I usually I put that on like whenever I go to like pre-parties and shit. People genuinely like that song.
Credit to the original, which is good to hear, man. Good to hear.
Yeah.
So you talk about commercial sound is where you're kind of heading with RudeLies. RDLS, tell us about that. God.
All right, so RDLS is a project I'm still secretly preparing. So this is the first time that actually I'm talking about it in public. I have some like interesting tunes brewing there. Can't really tell much what's going on, but basically I want to do any genre. I don't want to strictly limit anything to like one style that is, the RudeLies sound that probably is going to be mostly released on a RudeLies. But let's say I want to do dubstep mid-tempo, like I'm finishing up a mid-tempo remix with a good friend of mine.
I can guess who that's with. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. If we're talking about the mid-tempo genre and who's big on that right now in NCS, you guessed it, it's Visating. So, well, I just enjoy making a lot of different stuff. And I mean, I'm not just putting anything under RudeLies. I'm writing for other people, and I'm, helping other people with tracks. Like I helped Nick with a lot of tracks. Like I just really like to point out to people, when they're maybe not thinking about certain thing in production, or they just need a little push towards the right direction.
Well,
and,
this is again, we're moving back to the whole booth thing. We do this as well. We talked about this last week, where we all help each other out. If we were to follow the complete rules of music production, music writing, we would all be credited in each other's songs because of how we work. Just these tiny little feedback sessions that we do with each other all the time.
It's recently I was really struggling to finish the song I had, and I jumped in a call with Jagsy, and he just helped me finish it off. And generally, because we would bounce off each other so well with our workflow, I wouldn't have finished that track off for months if he didn't just sit in there and go do this, or export some stems for me and help me with a few bits. But these massive artists, they have 5 writers on these tracks. The majority of them.
But it helps, honestly.
Exactly.
It does,
why not ask for help if you need help? You know what I mean? I think it's a pride thing with a lot.
I mean,
it's
a
all
good thing,
about the end
a good example.
Exactly.
I would give is that Jesper, do you remember when I was sitting with you? One of the first times I came to Borlang, and I was like, hey, I'm working on this really cool remix for Unknown Brain. And, I just he just helped me a little bit with the melody. And, lo and behold, it was actually a remix I did together with them at the end of the day. So, just little things like that really help you to push your music forward. And,
Jasper's
considering
the melody
output.
guy.
Oh,
yeah. Jasper's you need
no,
help
honestly,
on melody.
I feel like from my perspective, I feel like Chris is way better than me at writing melodies.
I mean, what I understand is harmony and where things feel good, but with melodies, I feel like you're way outclassed. And of course, you have your own way of doing them, but that's just my own opinion.
I'm the sit in the back and tell you to add one piece of percussion sort of guy.
Oh, do you remember that time with Jake?
Oh yeah.
That's another story for another time.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later, definitely.
But we do have a lot of cool stories to share between the three of us.
We do.
Absolutely.
Well,
I want to try and stick a little bit with this.
For years, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But I want to try and I still got a little bit I want to talk about with this RDLS thing. So, because we only touched upon it pretty vaguely, but you're kind of using that to break away from the shackles of having to brand yourself a certain way, or having to follow trends and shit like that as well, right? So it's more of your way to express yourself more freely, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, each artist.
I've been thinking about that too, a lot. We've been having these discussions, should I or should I not put this or this tune that doesn't sound like anything that I would put on my brand, or should I just make a separate brand? And I feel like a lot of artists, at least at our scale, are struggling with this idea, if they should put it on a separate brand or not.
I've been struggling with that.
Definitely feel you.
Yeah, man. Because and I think I said it the last week as well, or no, it was the first episode. I think I talked about drum and bass and stuff like that. I wanted to do a separate drum and bass thing, but then again, my brand sits in my melodies mostly, and that would probably work out in drum and bass. But on the other hand,
just funnel everything into one massive this is the thing. I feel like when you make a list, you have to manage a whole nother set of social accounts, different emails, all this shit, and then you could just keep it under the same brand and keep it easy, and then carry on building that one brand. But I guess for some people, if they know where they want to go with two things, it makes sense. I know what you're saying, but so recently I've made a bit of bass house, a bit of tech house, been mixing it up a bit, and I'm so I'm still not sure what I want to put on my if I would want to release that on my main, or if I'd want to go down the RudeLies alley and do Tilson or something, TLSN.
Tilson.
But it is hard to know. I think when you get to the point that we're all at, it's what am I going to alienate the core fan base if I release this stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And it's if you make a separate alias, it makes it so much easier to just put anything that you like that doesn't fit your brand, just throw it on there. And you've seen people do it so many times, and you've seen it work and you've seen it fail. So like, and I think it's because if you do that, a lot of people who do that, I genuinely do not think that RudeLies would do this. But a lot of people who do this just have like a platform that they can put music on, and then they don't care about branding. They don't care about like treating that as its own like artist project or anything. They just put music out there, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like that's what's going to happen with RDLS. I have like kind of a core visual idea that I want to follow, but it's not so much supposed to be like a super brand thing that I've, you know, I'm planning a lot of stuff for RudeLies as well, but it's not like I'm going to be putting that same amount of money and effort into RDLS. It's just like,
so it's more just throwing stuff out and seeing what works. Like,
oh yeah, definitely. Yes. And I mean, at the end of the day, don't just throw out something because it has to work. Just throw out something because you love it or you feel like, you know, this is cool to release.
Yes. This is a thing I've been noticing recently a lot. So I'll show a track to a lot of different producers, and everyone will have different feedback because of the way they make music. And I think with all of us, we know when something sounds good and when it doesn't, like in our head. And like sometimes you need someone to go, "What the fuck is that? What are you making?" Every so often.
Oh, yeah.
But generally, if you go around everyone and the feedback's like, change that clap, change that click, like don't use a cashmere build or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's such minor stuff which you know like what you're doing, and it's like. Just being able to throw stuff out there and not care is like such a big thing, I think. Like,
and I mean, recently because I released Crown, I just like felt like, okay, I don't really need to care about anything because like this works. And I mean, some people like it, some don't, but like
the thing is,
if
you do
I like
deep down, you do really care, but you wanna like you're just saying like you don't care, but you do care. You want all your music to do well. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
you don't want any negative comments as well.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like you wanna do this, just like Tom said, you want to do this so you don't alienate your core fan base as well. But then again, you're moving towards a more commercial sound with RudeLies, and your core fan base is more into or I don't know, I can't speak for your core fan base, but like my like impression at least is that your core fan base is probably more into the like harder stuff that you've been making. But you are moving towards the bigger stage, and you've seen this happen with so many artists. They commercialize themselves so that they can widen their fan base, and why wouldn't you?
What I would say with Chris's sound as well before he speaks. Sorry to interrupt. But like what I'd say before is that you have been slowly moving recently towards this sound. Like I think there's been a gradual shift from doing that really hard stuff to kind of moving more to this more commercial sound, and you kind of slowly transition towards it instead of dropping everyone in it straight away. So
and why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? That's a way to maximize your like potential in the music career. Like if you want to be the front man of your music and you want to completely maximize your potential, then commercialize, you know?
And
why the fuck wouldn't you?
I mean, like, Tom, you have been doing this as well. Like, your recent tune is like 50% rap. Like, all of the verses like could be easily like a rap tune that could like go to 100 mil.
Hype. Like the whole track is just hype. It doesn't slow down. Yeah.
And I feel like this just happens naturally because our tastes like gravitate towards what we feel like is good. And I mean, if it's commercial, then, you know, does it really matter? You know?
Well,
I mean, I have another track that kind of brings it to that level.
Yeah. This is the whole part of that is, I'd say this year I started listening more to more mainstream music over just EDM. And that has changed the way I've written music a lot. I thought about it differently. And I think having like your main listening taste being something different to EDM is such a good thing, because you see it in a completely different way. It's like I always try to make my mixes sound super electronic, like has to sound distorted, everything has to have loads of OTT. But now I'd say it's more like I try and hit a balance between the two now. So like I don't push everything as hard as I did. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
like, just so you don't alienate general listeners as much as EDM fans. Like you can combine both of them. You know,
at the end of the day,
I still push my track towards like completely into the limiter, but that's me. So
yeah, I've seen your mastering, and I'm always questioning what the fuck are you doing, Jesper?
Remember when Chris?
If it works, it works.
Remember when Chris had the high ceiling and you released that track?
Oh yeah, I cannot master.
Where did you release? Where did you release?
Nick Cooper.
Nick Cooper. That's it. You were releasing the song for that, and I must have FaceTimed the two of you or something. And you like both of you, like Jess was like, I can't master in this high ceiling or whatever. like
oh god. But it was fucking impossible, man. And again, like this is just me not being used to the equipment and the room and shit like that. Like I'm used to my equipment and my acoustics in this room. Like it would sound differently at any other place. Like I'm not even used to his headphones. He didn't have Audio Technicas.
No,
so
true.
I generally don't like them.
Yeah, I really like them.
What's your setup like, Chris? Now then, because you don't have the studio anymore, do you?
No, but I still have all of my equipment here. So right now I'm having two Dynaudio BM5 MK3s. They're literally the favorite monitors that I've heard. And
the high end is so clean on them.
Oh yeah. And like if you sit in the middle, it's like the cleanest sound I've heard in any monitor. I also have a Virus TI. I have the PreSonus Studio.
Didn't you bought that to the UK with you when you came,
like when I was at Connor's house.
yeah, you bought it in a flight case when I picked you up. Like you had,
I don't know.
We had some fun times with that Virus TI as well when we were in Stockholm.
Yeah, you could create some really cool sounds with it. I honestly have to spend more time learning it, since I'm talking to some people who are maining it as well. And I mean, it works really well. But other than that, it's nothing too complicated, really. And I mean, I'm also having a DJ set here so I can practice for my sets. I bought it, I think, like a few weeks before I went to play in Thailand, just so I could practice my set and not be completely unprepared like I was for ADE. And like, I was just feeling like when I went to ADE in 2019, I wasn't feeling well. Like I literally was just thrown into there. And when I came back, I was like, okay, I have to prepare. I have to have my head straight. I bought the DJ set. I got like all of the money and like advances to prepare for it. Bought it, prepared for the set. And I honestly felt so better on stage when I was prepared. So I think that's something really important to like kind of either find a place where you can practice DJing, or if you have like a smaller budget, just buy one of those like smaller DJ sets and then gradually progress if you start playing bigger and bigger venues.
Exactly. So how was that like? Like you actually going all the way to Asia to play a gig, like it's a pretty big like nightclub as well. In Thailand.
It looks sick. It looks so sick from what I saw.
Yeah, it's
what was
crazy.
That like for you?
Yeah, so the funny thing about that club is it generally looks way bigger on pictures than it is in real life. Of course, it feels big, but I feel like just photographies have like this thing about capturing something that's way smaller that seems way bigger.
Yeah, I know that. They have the same thing in a nightclub here.
Whatever lens they
the
use,
photographers are really fucking good at just making everything seem huge when it's not really that big of a venue.
Yeah, and then again, it was my first time in Asia, so it was really sick just looking at the culture, tasting the food, although I didn't get to do that as much as I wanted to since I didn't want to get food poisoning. And also all the crazy traveling. Like I was, after the gig, I went back to the Netherlands and I was super tired. I was jet lagged as hell, but I was still drinking beer with Tyne and all the other boys there. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah. But that's the lifestyle that like we're all actually looking forward to. Starting new tours and shit. Woo! Yeah, traveling and doing tours and shit.
I just want to travel in general. Colwyn, what are you doing to us?
Man.
Me and Chris had this thing before COVID where we basically met up every month. Like he either came to the UK or I'd be in Sweden or we'd be in the Netherlands or something. Just because we both love traveling. So like Chris came to the Future House Music thing in the UK. And we went to like the YouTube Space event there.
Yeah, you came to the last date of my tour in Sweden.
So much cool shit, bro. We'd like ADE, dance fair, all this stuff. Like, let's talk about the Stockholm trips because that's where we all first met. So
I remember that first fucking time when I met you. You were so much taller than I imagined, and you were I was so much shorter than you imagined me to be.
And I was so much chubbier than I am now.
Yes, you were. You were Chunky Tilson.
You came out of that hell.
Yeah, man.
Yes, I learned how to use a treadmill. But no. The first episode. For episode, what am I talking about? You throw me off now. The first trip to Stockholm where we like stayed up all night and we made that Ring Ring remix.
Yes,
bro, that was so sick. So I remember like we were in Chris's like flat or something, and we just looked in the charts like to see what was.
No, dude, we did that on the bus.
Yeah, I found it on the bus and I asked like. Do you want to make a remix of this song? And we went back home. And then you two sat on my sofa back in my apartment.
You started a break, and me and Jasper started like a drop on FL. And then we went to the studio. Like we went to the studio. We literally like finished it in a night. It was so sick, man.
Yeah, and it's sitting on what now? Like 300K on SoundCloud. I don't even remember.
Something like that.
It is still going. You know,
But
it's been taken down from several YouTube channels, but every time it has, it's been over 100,000 streams.
Yeah.
I remember as well, we sent that to, so it got released on Oll's side like the next day, didn't it? And then we sent it to Clark's as well, and he played it the next day and like sent us a video of him playing it.
Oh yeah, that was super sick.
So sick.
For how at least for how small me and Tom were back then, that felt really huge for us to just have a song out the next day and just have it like supported the next day, played in a club. Like we even put that shitty fucking footage up on our Instagrams as well.
It was so cool though.
It was so cool.
Live support always is feeling so good. Like when you see a video of someone playing your song live.
Well, you showed us that video. What remix was it that you did that was played at like a massive Swedish festival?
That was the Galantis remix that was played by Mike Perry on the both of summer burst stages.
You showed us that. That looked sick. Yeah. And this goes back to what Jesper said about Tungavag and Robin playing their stuff as like your stuff as well, like playing Roundhouse for the first time.
Actually, at the same nightclub, me and Chris got supported by Mike Perry again when we did that was the first DJ support we got when we did the Kerncraft remix.
Oh yeah. Well. Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And then we got supported by Charlie Hedge. That's her name. On BBC Radio twice, which I still can't believe is true. Like,
fucking BBC Radio and
twice. They got your name wrong the second time, didn't they?
yeah.
But like, happens, speaking of playing in like clubs and stuff, so we've all done some cool shit in Sweden. We did those Vida nights where Chris hosted his birthday party sort of thing. So unfortunately I couldn't go to the last one, but the year before we did it and we like the three of us played and it was just so funny because barely anyone turned up. But like I remember
when my set turned up, literally everyone had left and I was like, what the fuck? Who am I playing
I felt
for?
So bad for you, Jesper.
Oh man, but it was like I was just sitting there thinking like, why the fuck would a venue keep having artists at 3 a.m. on a fucking Wednesday, you know, when I was standing there playing my set and I just turned it off and I was like, you know what, I'm fucking out of here.
But
like,
you were going ham earlier on. You were playing like Fox Stevenson and like all this heavy stuff.
Yeah, because no one there was like 3 or 4 people there on the dance floor. And
and I mean, you play for the people who are on the dance floor, and if it's just us, we're just gonna play the music we like.
Even if it's just
it doesn't
me,
fucking matter.
Jagsy,
I was having fun. I was having fun no matter.
We're not playing for the club manager. Never.
Yeah, fuck that, man.
So, Chris, you played you played at the like quite a few places during like ADE last year. It was still last year. Was it last year? No, the year before.
2 years ago.
We didn't have it last year. Bloody hell.
2 years.
What's been going on? And COVID. Yep, COVID. But like you did your own event, you did your own night, which me, Jesper, and a few of the boys ran over from Monster Cat to come and watch you play, which was super cool. What else did you do? Like you did the NCS thing as well, the lives. Did you do any other sets during? You were meant to have a House Nation night, but that didn't happen. Did it?
That fell out because of the manager. I did one at Alien Parks right before I went over to my club night. That's why I had to run from the NCS dinner earlier. But you guys weren't there as well. You were at the Enter dinner.
We were at the Enter Records dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
You were eating some fancy food, I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, dude, it was so fancy. It was so good, and we met so many like really, really cool people that I didn't think that we were ever gonna get to meet in person. The Enter Records thing has been like such a huge part of like, even though I only released like 3 songs with them, it's been such a huge part of like me releasing music and like understanding the music industry because the way they work is like so professional, and we have a close relationship with Jake, who was an A&R there as well.
And also set up Illicit in Tavali, which you might know. So he's a stonky music industry businessman.
So like we've been learning a lot about like how the industry actually works. By signing to Enter Records as well,
which is dope. But like,
it's really cool.
All these. So I got to go to Katowice as well. So I went the weekend coronavirus started going bad. I went to Katowice and they had it was meant to be like in a stadium. It's like ESL 1, all this stuff. It's like, I'm gonna hear my music in a stadium and I get to watch all these like pro CS:GO players and stuff. Like it would have been.
And
sick.
then they were like, nah.
But I landed, and then I was there. Jagsy texted me, Magnus texted me, and he was like, "Oh, have you seen the group chat?" I was like, "No." He's like, "We can't go into the stadium. Like, it's been cancelled for for viewers, so we got there and it was like we just ended up drinking with all the boys for the weekend instead because we couldn't go to. But it was sick. Me and Jaxie actually started our song "Now or Never" then, which has now been released.
Who was it that passed out in the like bathroom?
Rosenfeld.
It was Rosenfeld. Yeah.
Who else was there? Like Axolo, Tyne. We had Levianth there. You
had Phil as well.
Phil from Uplink. Ewan was there.
Was Nick with you as well? Phil and Nick.
Nick wasn't there. No, just Phil.
Okay.
Just Phil. But that was such a sick weekend, bro. You're like all these travel stories. Like we need to talk more about ADE. We haven't got into that much. Like there's so many cool stories. So like
what I want to talk about is Chris's hangover.
When
he was gonna go. I want to talk about.
We have to start at the Friday night. So how we actually got to that place? So you gave me tequila on the pre-drinks.
Yes,
I think that might have been the one mistake that I did was to listen to you.
So this was the Future House Music event, right? Let's go into detail about this. So we were all at the Future House Music event. We pre-drank quite heavily, like as you probably know from last week's episode. Yeah. Jesper's brother was very, very drunk on this night as well.
It's just a reoccurring theme. Jesper's brother being drunk.
It is.
But like we got there and like loads of people recognized Chris, so he was on like this like high of just people like coming up to him and being like, "Can I have a photo with you?" So then obviously he got even more drunk as well. And like me, I remember I was with Jagsy a lot that night, and we were like to each other, "Oh, if we buy each other a drink, it will be cheaper, you know, if we pay for each." So we just all night we were just like, "Oh, I'll buy the drink this time, you buy it next time, it will be cheaper." And it's like, how does that work? Like, we thought it'd be cheaper, you know what I mean? But that was so fun. That was like one of the funnest nights, just because we were all there and just like fucking around the whole night and just
And hearing others tracks, like Kelvin's tracks played by Modi as well, was just like so hype, even though it was like 5 a.m. or something like that.
JS God.
I think that's the day where I had tequila for breakfast, actually.
Tequila for breakfast.
You
were on absinthe. Like you had absinthe for most of the time we were there, didn't you? Like,
it was absinthe most of the time, but tequila for breakfast, like it only like prepares your guts.
But all
for
right,
the absinthe,
so 8 a.m. came around, I think, something like 8-7, and I had barely slept. So I think Tom woke up at the same time and asked if I wanted some help.
I woke up on purpose to come with you because I didn't want you to go on your own because I know what you're like when you're like tired and rough. I came with you especially because I was like, you know what, I'll be nice, I'll come with him. But you had that demo session, didn't you?
Oh yeah, with NCS. I had one of the first ones, if not the first.
So what happened on the way to the demo session, Chris?
Yeah, so we went on the tram. Everything was great. Well, I was feeling kind of shit, but basically we got off the tram and I started feeling very bad. So I was thinking about where to throw up. And I mean, the natural place to throw up in Amsterdam is, of course, the canal. So I did that a few times. And, I was totally pale. People can't actually see how pale I was because I had the NCS pictures edited when I was posting them on my social media. But, like, I was white as a fucking ice cream cone.
Yeah, man. The photos, they don't tell the truth.
No. Never trust social media. So yeah, and all thanks to Tom, I was able to survive. Like after the demo session, we went home, we slept for a bit, and then we went to my NCS set.
That was sick as well. That was really cool. Like who were you back to back with? Bose,
really cool guys. Love them.
That was cool as well. It was so sick how just everyone was hanging out together and you just bump into people. Like we say this every year with ADE, but like it gets better every year because you know more people. You know what I mean? So it's like so sick how you can bump into people. But I don't know, 2019 ADE was so much fun. Like honestly,
it really was. It really was because 2019 was that year where we felt like we had actually kind of established ourselves somehow.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
And you already had people
actually recognize. Yeah, exactly. So that was a really cool feeling.
Oh my god, is that Jonth? I heard that loads that week. Oh my god, that's Jonth.
Wasn't Shawnee there?
I didn't meet Sean.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I met Sean. I met Sean at the Hexagon event. Actually,
I didn't meet.
I didn't say this last week, but yeah, we met Sean at the Hexagon event with my brother.
We met loads of cool people, man. Honestly, everyone, all the boys were there as well. So good. So yeah, 2018 ADE. Let's go back a year before that. So we talked about 2019. 2018 was all our first year of ADE, so we weren't familiar with it then.
Chris had been there for like a couple
since 2014, which that AD also has a funny story behind it.
Yeah, I want to hear more about that later.
Yeah. But for this one, we all stayed together again. So right. Let's explain 2019. No, 2018. Oh yeah, Chris didn't stay with us 2018. 2019, we all stayed together. We stayed in a hostel, and we were like pretty close to the center. That was good. 2018, we all decided to stay an hour out at Jordan's house, at Jordan De Jong's house, and that was interesting because we would go out party all night and then have to go back in the morning and get a lift to his house and then like go out the next day and party. But we didn't really socialize in the day at all because of that. You know what I mean? With anyone.
So we had so much more time to actually do daily shit 2019, actually. And that was really refreshing because like you could meet all these people without being super fucking drunk.
Oh yeah, you could just go to breakfast because like there was a tram literally taking you into the center.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so fucking refreshing compared to like 2018. 2018 was still really sick staying at Jordan's place because you got to sleep in like a proper bed and shit. You were spooning with Vason and shit like that.
To be fair, both years were sick for different reasons, in my opinion. So like 2018 was sick because it was just chilling with all the boys, but 2019 was cool because we got to do more shit. Like I made sure I stayed for the whole week that year just so I would get as much stuff in because it's just so cool just like being like, oh hey dude, I'm like you're around the corner, do you want to go get a drink or something, you know what I mean? Where is it? Leidsplein, everyone goes there.
Leidsplein. It's so funny because we met Hampus, the guy who signed Overdose, and we didn't even realize that was Hampus
for Future Generation afterwards. And then after we're like, oh shit dude, like I messaged him on Facebook like, oh shit, like we should talk about the track, but I didn't realize that was you, but that was you. Like we realized after, but that was
everyone's
super cool.
So busy at ADE.
Yeah, but we only bumped into them because like he was talking to Jake or something, wasn't he? And we didn't realize like who they were, and we were with like Jake and a few other people, and like we had so weird. Like you just bump into everyone and you have no idea.
It's just ADE things.
Tell us this 2017 story then, Chris. That you
2014. This is like
this is way back.
So this is when I was
Hardwell thing.
15.
Okay, go on. Funny story time.
I only came for 2 days then. I arrived Friday night and I stayed there for Saturday. I went there for the Afrojack event and only during the day. I was during the daytime, you know. So the daytime events is like conferences, demo drops, everything like that. And I feel like that part of AD when you get older, like it kind of disappears because like most of these things you can already manage on internet. And I mean, we're just sharing contacts with anyone.
Dance fair.
Besides the
dance fair's for.
Well, I've attended the Hardwell masterclass then, and I coincidentally asked him if he was using Kick by Nicky Romero, and you know that clip went viral and was featured in one of those funny producer compilations. And lo and behold, at this point, you know, he's featured me multiple times with a Hardwell Nair, and I've signed to Reveal Recordings, which is his label. So it's pretty interesting how that kind of toured on it.
It's so funny, that clip.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I remember how much we memed that clip.
I was such a kid back then, which was already almost 7 years ago.
You didn't understand that what you were saying could be memed then, though, really.
Yeah.
Which is what made it so memeable.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Literally. And here we are today, actually somewhat fucking established. Like, compare that.
We can make some money off of music. Yeah, so.
Look who thinks they're famous now. You think, that was such a bad pun. For fuck's sake. Crickets,
Peak comedy, Tom.
Shut up, man. But so I think we should head back towards music. We're going a little bit off.
Yeah, we're going off the rails.
That's what happens when we talk.
So Mr. RudeLies, we bumped into Ollie James, didn't we, at ADE when we were there? And you made a collaboration with him, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I did. We made it back in 2018, somewhere around that time. We had talked about it for a long time. So just like
how did it come about exactly then? Like, what was the process for you working together?
So we talked a lot over Twitter, and we just sent different ideas back and forth. And coincidentally, I just sent one that he really liked. We talked about different ideas of how we could develop it, and after a while, we just had sent stems back and forward. I did the final master, and we had the track. And it took quite a while to sign because it was just some complications with the labels. And then we finally released it on Lowly,
Yeah.
And
it's quite a unique track in a sense, isn't it? It's like
it's really hard.
it's very out there compared to like sound design wise as well. Like, so I can see why you maybe like struggled to sign it a little bit to begin with, but like it's a
always
sick
the case.
track.
It's always the case.
So
Yeah,
have you had any other big collabs that are like really notable to you that you'd like to like speak about, or would you say that's your biggest one so far?
I had one with Rowan and Crane actually, which was really.
Are you forgetting about the Raven and Crane collab? What's this, Tom?
No, I mean, I had Ollie James written down. I forgot about the Raven and Crane one.
Yeah,
That was
then I
pretty
had a
cool.
collab remix I did with Unknown Brain. That was also really cool.
Yeah,
And I'm working on some two really, really cool collabs that you will be able to hear hopefully later on this year. They're one is hard and one is like a bit more on the softer side. So, you know, always heading in both directions.
Name drop?
Name drops?
Name drop?
One of the biggest bass house producers, or like Brazilian bass producers. Well, they're both Brazilian as well, so that's kind of cool.
Ooh.
Okay, yeah.
I think
I'll
this
take
should
some guesses.
give it away.
I'm gonna dig this out of you after the podcast.
I'm gonna tell you. It's no worries.
I was gonna say I think you've said about this, but I can't remember exactly. So.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite track you've released then, Chris? Like,
Ooh, this is super hard. But if I had to pick one where I feel like I nailed a lot of stuff, it would definitely have to be Far Away. That I actually did my own vocals for. I wrote the chorus, and I feel like it had just such a meaning for that track, you know. And even though it had to go through mixing by, you know, another engineer to get finished, like I was totally fine with that because I love that track so much, and it was great to release it. So
it's such a dope track. Like it's for future house as such. We'll call it future house because it's on future house music. So for future house, it's like the build is like very chorusy, which is different for that sort of thing. So it's like, I like the way you've written it. It's different to most that sort of music, which I respect. I respect completely. And the drop melody in that is super sick.
Yeah, I feel like it's all about doing something different. And with that track, all it had to do is like nail the chorus right. And I mean, since the melody of the drop was based, melody of the break was based on the drop melody, it was basically like having a filter in drop melody playing all through the build-up / chorus. You know,
that's such like when you base the vocals of your track around the main melody in your song, I think it works loads better, you know.
Oh, I totally
agree. You're kind of like you're filtering in, like it's like filtering in the lead in like when you like do the build, but like you're doing it with a different element and it sounds more natural in my opinion. It's like I think one of the tracks I did that with, which I really like, is In Your Eyes. Like she copied the lead melody of the like vocal chop in the drop with the chorus, and it sounds so sick. It works so well. So if you're not doing that in your tracks already, do that because it works super well.
One thing that you can also do that I've been trying to do a couple times when I've been writing for like build-ups and stuff like that is to write your melody harmonizing with the drop melody. Actually works really well if you do the lower harmony, because then it gives such an impact to the drop melody when it comes in.
Your latest track, talking about the Jesper, it's all also like kind of did you base the melody of the drop from the chorus? Is that how it happened?
So the whole instrumental was written before the vocals.
Oh, so they wrote
Skinny Days
around it.
Yeah, Skinny Days wrote the vocals around it, and they're super professional about that. I think they know exactly what we're talking about, like how effective that is. And it just made sense to do it in that setting as well.
Yeah.
So
listen to the pros, everyone. That's when
you have these songs in your head a lot of the time. So Famous was stuck in my head and still is. Fuck you, Jesper. But it gets stuck in my head loads, and it's like I think of the drop melody, but I also think of the chorus, like the someday you're gonna be famous, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you think of them together because so you've got something to sing in your head, and you've also got a melody to like hum. So like it's the perfect combination of just annoying the fuck out of someone when they get it stuck in their head.
Yeah, I got my girlfriend humming it all the time as well.
That's how the song spread. Make them catchy. So
literally.
Yeah.
You join the groove and you just go do 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 do. Oh,
that's not what happens. Yeah. That's not what happens.
Well, now we're gonna get a copyright claim by spinning records here on the podcast.
I do that loads. I get a song stuck in my head. I'm the one that's singing it in the booth or like humming it or something. Like I'll be that guy.
Everyone's wishing a no. I don't do that all the fucking time with the Wellerman remix.
I don't know the Wellerman remix like lyrics well enough, so I'll start singing the beginning of them and then just trail off.
This is my thing always with like lyrics.
Shut the fuck up all the time as
for
well.
me with lyrics, like I always can understand the first few words if I kind of like listen to the song 2 or 3 times, and then it like kind of rolls off, and you just like awkwardly try to like remember them.
You pretend like you know what they are. You just say like do 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 or whatever it is. Like just humming along.
Yeah. All the time. I feel like this is just something that everyone does. This is definitely not just like a producer thing.
Honestly,
like, it just literally everyone does this, man.
So, Christopher, Kristaps, do you have anything at all that you would like to plug this week on the episode of Soundproof?
You must have plenty. I know you. Work hard.
So this episode is gonna be out on Monday. So I know I can plug this. I have a new track coming up this Friday on. Actuation called Gimme What, which was kind of like made during the Blinders JS Car Shining Beats challenge. And
you're releasing that now?
Yeah, it's coming out on Friday.
That's so dope. So dope.
Yeah, and I mean, I couldn't be more happy with the release of Actuation. Like, they have done such a good job on the release already. And like, I mean, I haven't seen any of the stats, but I know they're gonna kill it. They have delivered sick artwork, sick like videos. Like, I really entrust them with this release, and I think I'm going to be doing more stuff with them, hopefully. So yeah,
nice, man.
That's really cool, man.
Anything else you want to plug? Maybe the tip of the week. The
follow
tip of the
me
week with
on Instagram. I'm going to be doing more stuff on Twitch and such. I also have a Discord server. Just a bit of everything. So.
But tip of the week with RudeLies on Soundproof Community.
Oh yeah, that's also a thing. We haven't actually touched upon this. So
we literally haven't.
So for those who don't know, I'm kind of like the third secret member of Soundproof, and I do the tip of the week. I mean,
not that secret, considering in all the bios it says you're part of it, and the fact that you do the tip of the week. But yeah, the secret member is RudeLies.
Yeah.
Funny there, Tom. Anyway, so I'll honestly, with that tip of the week, I'm always trying to bring something cool that people that they might not know. So like the first one was panning, and panning is something you overthink and you never think about. And then transient shapers,
you either do both.
People are aware of them, but they didn't probably know that you could use them in multiband and try to bring up some stuff as an EQ, but like a dynamic one. And so that's what I'm trying to do with the tip of the week all the time, trying to like bring something that nobody knew, but you just have to kind of find those little things. So
yeah, because there's like hundreds of videos explaining compression, and there's hundreds of videos explaining.
But they're like 10 minutes long, and they're like, "This is what this does. This is what this does." Not like just throw this on and try this. Like it's like just a 2-3 minute tip where it's like,
honestly,
try this.
If I would explain compression, all you really would need to care about is the attack and release.
Save it for an episode of Tip of the Week.
Nobody talks about this. Fuck you, audio engineers.
Save it. Next week on Tip of the Week.
Yeah, Tip of the Week. Compression.
The only thing you need to know about compression.
Yeah, literally.
So let's move swiftly on to the final segment of the podcast that we do every week. It's New Music Friday. So it's our favorite picks for the week. Okay. And I have to say we've had a good week of music. It has been a good week. So personally for me, as an Ellis fanboy, previously Ellis fanboy. I'm not anymore. But
so you're not a fan of Ellis anymore?
No, I do like his music, but I wouldn't call myself a fanboy anymore. Shut up, Jasper. His new track Orbit was super sick.
Oh yeah,
like, hearing like some harder stuff from him was really cool. Like I haven't got loads to say about it. Just really solid track. Go listen to it if you haven't.
I've been missing that kind of sound actually from Ellis, and it's so fucking sick to finally see him release on Uncaged as well.
Yeah, and it's also like really unique. I mean, he has done the harder stuff, but not in this kind of way.
Exactly.
Funky and heavy. Okay, so what's yours, Jasper? What's your pick of the week?
So this isn't really like from this Friday or last Friday. It's kind of like like in EDM terms, it's semi-old, but it's still like new. So I really, really enjoyed what Seth Hills did with Calling Out. And the reason why is because I got so bored of that sound that he used to do, like that really hard sound. And he really brought something new here with Calling Out, and I fucking love that sound.
Yeah,
it's such a good song.
It's also more like it's like chill heavy music. Like you can listen to it like casually, super easily. You play that in a club, it will go off at the same time.
Yes, exactly.
And the bass is crispy. That's all you need to know.
Yes, it's very crispy.
crispy bass. Let's give credit to the other guy as well. Vlar, isn't it? That's his name.
Yeah,
he works on it as well.
Of course.
He's super sick. He did a load of trap stuff before. He's a super sick producer as well. But it's cool. Yeah, it's such a cool track, honestly. The vocals are on point in that as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Super catchy. So yeah, what's yours, Chris?
Oh, mine one is a new one by Madison Mars called Feels. It's a really, really weird track in the sense that, it's kind of combines what he's done before with what he hasn't. It kind of like has both a future house and like a swingy UK garage feel to it. And it sounded super weird when I first got it as a promo, but now I'm listening back to it and I'm like, hell yeah, this is like super unique, but also like super heavy. And it has like some weird vocal bits in it, but I don't mind them too much now listening to it. So it's one that I
quite
really
unique.
recommend. Yeah, definitely.
Because I haven't heard that yet, so I'll have to check it out.
Same.
I'll have to check it out later. Sorry, I was just taking a sip of my water. But
All right,
it sounds like that'd be a good track, but need to check it out. So, I think that about wraps it up. Honestly, like we've talked through a lot of stuff again, but like
honestly, we could sit here for hours.
Yeah, this is how it goes.
If we had the time,
we've covered like probably like a eighth of like the stories we have from like just meeting up and doing stuff, because the three of us are always meeting up and we're always in the booth and we're always playing League of Legends, and that's basically our whole life.
We'll probably have to do another episode just to tell all of those stories.
We're probably going to do update episodes in the future. Well, like, who knows what's going to happen?
This is the thing. Like, I'm hoping like the three of us, right? Because we meet up so much, we'll actually be able to do one of these in person, like sooner than later. And we'll wait and see. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves, but hopefully the three of us can do it in person sooner than later.
Yeah.
So
COVID,
that'd be super cool. COVID, please go away. Thank you.
Also, before we say anything else, I kind of want to plug, probably, because we're recording this before the live stream, but we had a live stream this weekend, and we are going to do a live stream, a demo live stream with Chris this weekend coming up as well. So be sure to tune in for that as well.
So so thank you everyone for listening. As always, go and join our Discord server if you haven't already. Comment below any artists you want to see in upcoming episodes or any topics you want us to cover. We check the comments every week, both me and Jesper. Thank you very much for coming on, Chris. It's been awesome having you. I've been Tom Wilson. We've got Jesper. We've got Chris. We'll see you later. Peace.
Later.